professional, how do I deal with unprofessional people that are needed to accomplish a certain goal? Oscar, I have to tell you, dealing with unprofessional people is so frustrating, especially when you have a goal in mind, something that you're trying to reach, a big project that you're trying to close on. And to be honest with you, it's just something that a lot of us have to deal with when it comes to working with groups or when it comes to the workplace. I'm going to give you some tips that you can use to move this situation forward and really get down to the bottom of what the problem is. First thing you want to do, Oscar, is you want to make sure that you assess the situation. Now, what that means is that you need to take some time to really sit back and look at the aerial view of the situation. What's going on? What role have you played in the situation? What role has your coworker played? And think about the big picture. This is important. This is very important in leading me to my next suggestion, which is to communicate. Most of the time, when you're dealing with people who are unprofessional or when you're dealing with a difficult person in the workplace, it is a communication issue. All it is that somewhere along the lines of communication, there was a break. There's something that you may believe that the other person doesn't believe, or your communication styles just might not work together. The best way to communicate with people who seem to be difficult or somewhat unprofessional is you have to come at it in a way that doesn't accuse them. When you're dealing with difficult people, it's best to take a little bit of the responsibility and put it on your shoulders. Not saying that it's your fault by any means, but when you go to someone and you're accusing them or pointing fingers, it only leads to more miscommunication, and it also causes the person to get defensive. So what I suggested you do is that you go to the person and you ask them, what is it that we can do to move this project forward? Is there a problem that I can help you solve? Because I'm noticing that maybe we're having some communication issues and I really want to get this project done just as much as you do. Using those types of techniques when working with difficult people or unprofessional people causes them to not feel defensive and actually helps them to reflect on your question, which is, what can I do to help? And how can we move this project forward? It kind of flips the responsibility on them and helps them to realize that maybe they are having an issue. Maybe there is a problem and maybe they need to communicate that with you. Using this technique is a strong leadership technique, and it also helps to lessen an argument or a back and forth where nothing gets done at all. I know it might be kind of tough to put everything that you're feeling to the side, but I'm telling you, if you try this technique, you'll get a lot further faster. So once you assess the situation, communicate the problems that you're having or communicate that you're ready to get a solution to this problem. If all else fails, Oscar, and those techniques don't work, this is when you need to pull in somebody to help out. Maybe find somebody in the company or in the organization that's not necessarily connected to the project that you're working on and have them serve as a mediator. Someone that can come in and help you communicate to the other person how important it is to get this project done, and it can also help the other person to communicate some of the issues that are causing them to stop the project from getting done. Working with different people, you're always going to run into some sort of communication issues, and it's not the issues that are the problem, it's more of how you handle them. I hope that these tips helped you, and I thank you for sending your question into the Savvy Young Professional. See you later, YPs. You can find all the links and resources mentioned in this podcast in the show notes. And if you enjoyed this podcast, head over to TheSavvyYP.com